Hello, all you wayward travelers, and welcome back to Llaneilian. Excited to have you back here with me again, and I'm happy that you decided to stick around with me. And of course, starting off the episode, you can see I'm still angry about this intersection here, that I can't get rid of the traffic lights. In the future. Now, last time we left things off, we'd laid down the groundwork for our city, but we hadn't actually gotten any buildings in yet. So, why don't we start today's episode by actually getting some infrastructure in this city? Otherwise, not much of a city, is it? Now, as it stands currently, the majority of our city's residential is row housing, but we do have these few single-family homes down here, and they're awfully close to the highway, so why don't we isolate them a little bit by throwing in a nice tree line to help with noise reduction and also keep the scenery a little more neat. I don't know about you, but I think I'd prefer staring into a little bit of a tree line than straight onto a highway with cars. And hopefully also maybe keep the kids from wandering off to the highway. And while we have the tool out and we're doing a little bit of screening, we might as well come up here and give the bike path that I've laid out a little bit of the same treatment. Treef. Yes, absolutely, my favorite. We are indeed working with treefs here. And there we go. Now, I think for right now, we're just gonna keep the trees on the one side of the road, as the crosswalk kind of signifies the start of the industrial zone. But doesn't that look much nicer? And as a bonus, it also helps serve as a natural separation between the pedestrian, or I guess in this case the bicycle, and the vehicle traffic. And speaking of pedestrian, here we have our first one right now. Look at them, going on their merry way, as everything is getting built around them. And here we have what I think is actually the first officially built house in our merry city. Neat. Although I'm not too sure how good of a choice the green planking is, but oh well. And it looks like our commercial is steadily coming along as well. Our first van. I wonder what you're transporting. And our first milestone unlock, Tiny Village. Let's go. Now, with this unlock, we of course get a handful of signature buildings, along with a few goodies like taxation, city budget. We also have medium density now, which is nice. More road options, and healthcare, which I'm sure they are gonna start complaining about real quick. I've also decided to chuck in this here single Eastern European building because I think it gives kind of a vintage, more old look, like this has been here longer than most of the other newer structures and perhaps hasn't undergone either modernization or perhaps it's under a historical preservation act and we're not allowed to touch it. And on the topic of history, that is exactly where we are going to be if we do not get our economics sorted out. We are bleeding money fast. And I'm not quite sure how we're going to patch it up aside from maybe chucking up the taxation a little bit. And we'll probably also have to go into services and lower some of their budgets to even it out. We will eventually return these to their standards once we're a little more financially secure, but for right now, here in the beginning, you gotta make do with what you got. Now, having quite literally said that we were bleeding money, I'm going to completely ignore that and instead focus on healthcare and make us bleed even more money by having to pay services. But my hope is that by increasing the citizens' happiness a little bit, perhaps we'll have more citizens moving in more quickly, which means more rent, which means more money, and eventually everything will even out, right? Yeah, I'm sure that's how economics work. And while we're already digging our own grave here, we might as well go ahead and place down a cemetery. Just, just a future prep. Now, citizens aren't the only ones paying rent to us, it's also commercial. And we have quite a bit of commercial demand, so I think our next step might be to increase the commercial district just a wee bit and put it onto the second road we also have going into the town. And with the commercial district growing, it might also be an idea to expand the city with some of those fancy new medium density row housings we unlocked. But before we can begin doing that, we first need to lay down some roads. And there we go. With that done, we have our first medium density row housing being built in the city. And it looks like I somehow forgot a section of low density row housing down here. So let's quickly fix that. And I think we're actually gonna try and mix things up a little bit here. You'll notice some of these have gambrel and the other have gable roofing. And I think we're gonna do a little bit of mixing and matching in here and see if it looks any good. There we go. Now, while these plop in, I think we're gonna quickly head over to the industrial sector and make a offshoot, because we have a little bit of demand. I've been letting things just run a little bit, watching the city as it grows, and if we have a quick look at our financials, you'll see that we're still in the negatives, but not by nearly as much. A majority of our income is currently coming from taxes, and I think that if we just keep steadily expanding the city as we have been doing, we'll eventually reach net positive income. So, let's keep doing exactly that. But first, I have a vendetta to settle. If we have a quick look in here in our development tree, you'll see we have this thing called Advanced Road Services, and we just so happen to have an unlock point from reaching Tiny Village, I'm pretty sure it was. Anyway, what this will allow us to do is finally get rid of these pesky traffic lights. Oh, feels good. What it also allows us to do is plant trees along the sidewalks of our roads. And I think we're gonna do that right here along the commercial district, just to give it a little bit of an extra cozy flair, and also to help with a little bit of separation from the residential. As for the residential areas, we're gonna go with this kind of grass median separating the roads and the sidewalks. It's quite common to see here in specifically Denmark. You would quite often, when you're walking down the road, see these kinds of grass patches separating the sidewalks and the roads. So That's what we're gonna go with. Or maybe we're just gonna put down a petrol station. Where? No, we're putting down this grass median. Except down here in the cul-de-sac single family homes. I think we're gonna go with a little bit of both actually, some trees and some grass. The best of both worlds. Now, there's quite a lot of roadside parking going on in the city, and I can't really say that I'm all too much of a fan. Sure, it's quite common here to see, but I think we'd be better off maybe providing everyone with some more dedicated parking areas, especially as the city grows and things get more dense. The roads are going to become quite packed, so that's definitely on our priority list. But that's it for now. I'll see you next time. Have a great one.